If an old man passes away suddenly, how will his funeral be handled? The sudden death of an older person sets in motion a series of legal, financial and personal processes to manage their final affairs. This includes funeral arrangements, probate proceedings, inheritance and the management of various assets such as real estate, bank accounts and personal property. By understanding these steps, family members and executors can navigate the complexities of estate administration during difficult times. Funeral. The aftermath of a sudden death is shock and sadness for family and friends. In this emotionally tumultuous situation, there are several critical steps that need to be taken to ensure that the deceased receives a respectful and legal resting place. The first step is to notify close family and friends of the death. This can be a challenging task, especially when dealing with the emotional impact of losing a loved one. It's important to handle these conversations sensitively and carefully. At the same time, the death must be officially recorded. This usually involves a declaration of death by a doctor or qualified medical professional. In many jurisdictions, a death certificate is subsequently issued. A death certificate is an important document required for a variety of legal and administrative purposes, such as initiating probate proceedings and settling the deceased's affairs. Once the death has been officially recorded, the family will need to contact the funeral home. Funeral directors play an important role in managing the practical aspects of a funeral, from the care of the deceased's body to the organization of the funeral service. Some families may have a long-standing relationship with a specific funeral home, while others may need to choose a funeral home based on advice or research. If the deceased left any instructions regarding the funeral, these wishes should be respected wherever possible. In the absence of such direction, families will need to decide on the type of service, location, date and time, and who will attend. Some may prefer a simple private gathering, while others may opt for a large public service. Ceremonies can take place in a variety of locations such as churches, funeral homes, community halls or the family home. Some people may choose a special location that held significance to the deceased. Decide who will host, deliver the eulogy, read or play music. This often includes family, close friends, and religious or spiritual leaders. A death certificate is a critical document required for many subsequent steps, including probate proceedings, closing bank accounts and transferring ownership of assets. It is usually issued by the local health department or vital records office. Inheritance and estate administration. After funeral arrangements are completed, attention turns to the legal and financial aspects of the deceased's estate. This involves the determination and distribution of the decedent's assets according to the decedent's will or, in the absence of a will, state law. A will is an important document that outlines the deceased's wishes for the distribution of his or her assets. The first step in the estate settlement process is to find a will that can be kept in a safe place, such as a home safe or with a solicitor. A will usually names an executor, the person who is responsible for administering the estate. The executor has a fiduciary responsibility to administer the estate in accordance with the deceased's wishes and the law. If no executor is named, or the named executor is unable or unwilling to perform his or her duties, the court will appoint an administrator. Probate is the legal process of verifying a will and distributing an estate. This process ensures that the deceased's debts are paid and remaining assets are distributed to the legal beneficiaries. Once the will is probated and the asset inventory is completed, the executor can begin administering the estate. This involves multiple tasks, including repaying debts and taxes, maintaining the property, and distributing assets to beneficiaries. The executor is responsible for paying any outstanding debts, such as mortgages, credit card balances, and medical bills. In addition, the executor must file the decedent's final tax return and pay any taxes due, including estate taxes. The executor must also manage and maintain any property owned by the deceased. This may involve protecting the real estate, paying property taxes, and ensuring the property is properly insured and maintained until it can be sold or transferred to a beneficiary. Asset allocation. After all debts and taxes are paid, remaining assets can be distributed to beneficiaries according to the will or state law. This process involves transferring real estate ownership, allocating bank account funds, and handling personal property. If a will specifies the transfer of real estate to a beneficiary, the executor will facilitate the transfer of ownership. This involves updating the title and recording the deed with the appropriate authorities. Distribute funds from bank accounts, investments, and other financial assets to beneficiaries. The executor may need to set up estate accounts to manage these funds during the probate process. Personal property, such as jewelry, furniture, and sentimental items, are distributed according to a will. In some cases, an executor may need to sell personal property to pay debts or distribute proceeds among beneficiaries. In Part B, I will cover the sections on real estate, bank accounts, cars, and personal property management. The above content only represents my personal views and is for reference only. Thank you so much for watching and listening.